Welcome back to the 17th episode of Not Fully Qualified. I'm Sarah.
I'm Taylor, and this podcast is about navigating adulthood, overcoming all of our challenges,
Puppyhood,
puppyhood.
second puppyhood, building a life together, and everything in between, and fully owning that we have no idea what we're doing, but we're figuring it out as we go.
Just like this intro.
Just like this intro that we haven't quite nailed. So, what did we get up to this week?
Man, this week we had Friendsmas over the weekend.
Yeah, we had a Friendsmas at our friend Seth and Michelle's, and
we learned that not hosting is fabulous.
Yes, because usually we tend to be the ones who host our friends for different gatherings, and we also always have the bright idea of cooking and hosting. So usually it's a full day event of cleaning, cooking, hosting, cleaning.
I mean, I still did have to cook all day, but
yeah, you did still have to cook all day, but we didn't have to do all the cleaning. And they're pretty smart. They actually, for their food portion for the potluck, they actually had it catered. So I could see how.
Is it catering if you just pick it up and bring it to your house, or is that considered takeout?
I mean, kind of takeout.
When does it become catering
Well,
versus takeout?
they do have catering menus that you buy huge trays for.
Right.
But I don't know if what they had was necessarily considered full catering.
Riddle me that.
But it was pretty smart on their part, because then they can just focus on cleaning and decorating, and Michelle did an amazing job decorating. It was so cute. They had a long table set outside. They actually have a full fire pit outside too, or not fire pit, fireplace with like a chimney. So she decorated that. And it was super cute outside, and even their dog Wally had a little Christmas sweater.
Foot.
Oh, gone in Waffles.
Yeah.
Waffles is chewing a toy, and this poor little monkey has had its foot being chewed off for a really long time now,
and the last foot just went,
got swallowed.
Yeah.
It was a matter of time, but I didn't realize it was going to be a matter of seconds. But they did an amazing job. So they had a potluck. Taylor ended up smoking some ribs. Tell us how that went. You started the night before.
Yeah, I did a different. So I usually just do salt and pepper marinate or dry rub. This time I decided to change it up and do a little char siu.
Chashu.
Thank you.
I think.
And followed a recipe online that was like a 24-hour marinade.
Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of garlic and ginger in it.
Yeah, there was like 24 cloves of garlic.
Which thank goodness we got the peeled ones.
Yeah, thank God we got the peeled ones.
It was still a lot having to peel all the ginger. You had to. It
was like 18 inches worth of ginger that we had to peel.
And then with the garlic, what did we do with the garlic? We
just immersion blended it.
But no, that was for mine.
Yeah, that's for yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that saved us a lot of time, because peeling that much garlic, the ginger was already killer.
Yeah, the ginger was already killer. Oh no, we mandolined it. No, not mandolined it. Microplaned.
Microplaned it.
Microplaned all the ginger and all the garlic.
Yes.
That took a long time.
That did take a long time.
And I almost took my finger off a couple times.
I wore the gloves for the mandolin because I was scared of doing that.
But yeah, then I smoked it for 6 hours, and then took it off, but I'll catch up on the cook on my fail part.
Katsu, maybe not the loud toys.
But yeah, and then we did citrus choir singers, which is a tradition that my family does every year during Christmas time.
Yeah, from your grandparents.
From my grandparents, we go to this Valley Hunt Club. It's a club that my parents belong to, and we go and watch some citrus choir singers, and they sing some Christmas carols, and it just kind of puts you in the Christmas mood, and we get to see all of our family again. And so it's very nice, because we see everyone for Thanksgiving, and then a few short weeks later, we kind of see everyone again for citrus choir.
I think it was just a week later, basically. Yeah. But what's nice, so you may not have heard of the citrus choir, or you may not think you've heard of them, but they are the choir in Home Alone.
No, they're not.
Oh, did I just make that? Did I just make that? I thought they were. I thought they were this whole time. I thought that's what you told me.
Oh, no, I did not say that.
I thought they were the choir in Home Alone. What?
When did you get that?
When the first time I went, I thought you told me that.
No. No, I did not say this.
I'm pretty sure you told me that.
No.
'Cause that's such a random thing.
It's random that you would say that. I feel like you're only saying that because they played the Home Alone song.
I knew that before.
No.
I'm Googling it.
No. There's no way. Why would they be the choir in Home Alone?
Because you told me that, because you said they were the best choir in the United States.
I did not say this. They're really good. I don't know if they're like the best choir. They're like very good, but not the best.
Also, why is my keyboard sticky? Oh. Okay. The choir featured in the original Home Alone film was the Fox Albert Choir.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure someone told me that they were in Home Alone, because I wouldn't, that's such a random thing.
I feel like you would kind of just like played that in your head.
No, because I thought that before they even played that Home Alone song, and then I was like, oh, how fitting.
Oh, no.
Hmm.
Do you want to take the
I don't think he has any more feet left.
Oh, well, she's just like ripping it. I see her just like,
Whoa.
yeah.
Poor guy. Don't forget about him.
Well, but anyways, moving on. How was your week? What kind of updates can you provide us?
That was all the updates I had because I wrote these. Oh gosh. Okay. But yeah, the Citrus Choir was amazing. They do Christmas carols, so it really gets everybody in the spirit. They also, seriously, it's really cool. They also do a few numbers where they have these bells, and they have to learn exactly when to do the bells and how long to do it. And they have different motions that they do. So it's actually pretty cool. And they have one song that they always do every year that has no vocals. It's just the bells. And then they did do a Home Alone song this year, which was fun. And they switch it up, and then they do the classics as well.
We're sorry about the dogs fighting in the middle of the... It's going to be very distracting on the video.
Girls. You want to calm down? Come here. All right. Back to what we were talking about. But it is a really nice tradition. It's nice to see your family, and it gets everybody in the holiday spirit. So it was fun to have 2 Christmas celebrations this weekend. We already did the lights over Thanksgiving on our house, and
I think that's the earliest we've ever gotten Christmas lights up.
Our tree is halfway done. We've been trying to add ornaments every night after you're done working. And then the house is pretty much done. I can't fully decorate the house because of these dogs. I don't want them to get into anything or ruin any of my decorations. So I can only do so many things that are not within their reach. But we're feeling in the Christmas spirit. I think the only win that I have this week is that I was originally going to bring a dessert because I'm pretty well known for baking desserts to the Friendsmas, and they had a sign up sheet, an Excel sheet, which I appreciated, and 16 people were supposed to come, and only a few people actually filled out the form. But of the people who filled out the form, there started to be a lot of desserts, and so I was actually surprised because Taylor has a really big sweet tooth. And he actually said, I think there's a little bit too many desserts.
Well, yeah, because there was already 3 people bringing desserts. And I'm like, no one was bringing... There's like 1 person signed up to bring appetizers and like 2 people signed up to bring sides. So I was like, I think we need to skew the party in a different direction.
Right. So, I mean, I was the second person to write a dessert. It's just that 2 more people wrote after me. So then there's a lot of desserts. So I waited all week to buy ingredients, kind of feeling like I might pivot. And then at the last minute, I decided to just do a cucumber.
I will say the Biscoff blondies were really tasty.
Yeah, from our friend Katrina. She made really good Biscoff blondies. She also made a bunch of cookies too. But yeah, there was cookies, there was
They were
cakes.
huge cookies,
Yeah,
by the way. Did you see how big they were?
Yeah, those were like bakery
They were
style.
huge, yeah.
Those were bakery style cookies. And then so I'm glad I didn't bring dessert because there was plenty of dessert. So I ended up bringing a cucumber salad, but I wanted it to go well with his ribs. So I used AI to help me come up with a recipe for what would best complement chashu ribs. So it took down the sugar and the salt usually used in cucumber salad, and it went with a Chinese smashed cucumber salad and everything. It's so funny because everything I'm asking it, so I'm like, I think I should marinate it overnight. And it's like, no, don't do that. They're going to get soggy. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I think that maybe I'll do the spiral cut instead of the smash because the smash just looks kind of messy and not as aesthetically pleasing as the spiral cut. And then it's like, no, don't do that because basically the marinade slips off any smooth cuts. And so you want the ridges that the smashing creates.
Makes sense.
And so it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, obviously it's like, okay, AI is smarter than me. I just need to listen to it. So I did everything it said. And actually, I think it turned out really well. But I will say,
you should have made it the night before.
Yeah, I will say that when we had a little bit of leftovers the next day, I actually think it was almost better, and it did stay super crunchy.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think it was the best cucumber salad I've made because I haven't really salted the cucumbers to get them crunchy. I usually just
did we have it for? I think we had it for lunch, so maybe it wasn't like a full 24 hours later. But
true. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they weren't soggy at all. They almost got crunchier. Maybe because they were in the fridge.
I don't know about crunchier, but
I think they almost got crunchier because they were in the fridge versus when we brought them to the dinner, we were eating right away. So they were just in the cooler, which obviously is not as cold as the fridge. And then
is there some type of science that the colder it is, the crunchier it gets, is what you're leaning towards?
I think AI said that. Because AI had said, ideally you refrigerate it 30 minutes before eating, but I said that we didn't have time. So yeah, that was great. We weren't able to stay. We also did a white elephant. And
my flipping gift I ordered my gift on Cyber Monday, and it was supposed to land on Friday, and the party was on Saturday, and come along to Friday and it doesn't land here, and I'm like, crap. And then
I think it got here late Saturday.
Yeah, I got here late Saturday night, and I was like, and I had the best gift, probably maybe not as good as the lotto tickets that the scratchers.
Yeah, so one year when I did a white elephant at one of my previous jobs, somebody brought the scratcher tickets, and it was the hottest commodity. And I was like, oh, that's actually genius. So I decided to do that this year. And I also decided, do you remember back when White Elephant used to try to trick people with what kind of box it was in? I don't know. That's what my family used to do. We used to kind of trick each other of what it was. So, and a lot of times, people think oh, the bigger box means it's better. So mine got picked kind of towards the end. And it was really funny because our friend Seth, who was hosting, he opened my gift. And when he first opened it and he saw that it was an anthropology box, because that's kind of one of the only boxes I had. And he was like, ugh. And because it was also really light, he was thinking it was a scarf. So he was like, dang it, this is not what I wanted. He was so mad. He was opening it. He can't find what's in it in the middle because I had a bunch of tissue paper in there. And then he finally opens it and then sees that it's scratchers and is like, oh my God, he was so excited. And then he hid them in his jacket so people wouldn't steal it. But then the last person who went, our friend Katrina, she wanted them. And so it was really funny. He did not want to give them up. And I was saying, just a reminder to our friend Katrina, if you win, don't forget who brought them to the party.
It was my dollars that originally bought these tickets. So
yeah, because I haven't bought scratchers in so long. I didn't realize you couldn't buy them with a credit card. So I went and I only had $15 when I first went, and the limit was $25 for the white elephant. And so I was like, shoot. So then I asked Tay where some of our cash was because I needed to go back and get the remaining $10. And then it was really funny during the white elephant that Taylor and I have for some reason not been on the same page for, I don't know, a couple days, at least the last week. Our communication for some reason has been off. And I thought, so I was going to steal one because I was kind of towards the end. I was number 12 and I think there was 13 or 14 people. And then I already had my eye on somebody got a Trader Joe's bag with a Trader Joe's gift card, which I tend to like the practical gifts. So I was like, I don't really want to steal any of these other ones or risk a random one. I would totally be down with a Trader Joe's gift card since I shop there pretty often. And I thought that was obvious. And then
I didn't see the all I saw was a tote. I saw a Trader Joe's tote, so I didn't think anything of it. But there was also a really nice immersion blender that came with all these different attachments.
yeah,
And we cook a lot, and we have an immersion blender, but it's from like 1970 from my grandma.
yeah,
That's like
which it wasn't top of
it's
mind for
all
me.
one piece. You can't clean it very nicely. Like
Yeah, it wasn't top of mind for me because you used it earlier that day or the day before to make the chashu marinade. And so you probably were realizing that it was old. But since I haven't used it in a really long time, I wasn't thinking anything of it. I was just thinking, oh, we already have one, so we don't need one. And the immersion blender did get stolen once before. So, but I still could have stolen it because we were doing 2 steals and then the gift is done being stolen.
yeah.
So I could have stolen it, but it was so funny because when I stole the Trader Joe's bag, Taylor was like, "What?" And I'm like, "I thought what? I thought it was obvious." And you're like, "No, I was flashing the flashlight at the immersion." I'm like, "I didn't even know you were flashing the flashlight over there because it was dark out." So it was funny because I thought we were totally like, "Yeah, I got the Trader Joe's gift card," and you're like, "What?" So that was pretty funny. But we do have some credits still left from a couple of duplicate gifts we got for our wedding, so we might be able to use it towards an immersion blender if we really need it.
Yeah, but that's I don't want to use credits for that. Like,
What else are we gonna use it
I don't know.
for?
We'll figure out something.
So yeah, so that was really fun. We had a good time. Katsu probably yelled for at least half the time we were gone.
Yeah. But I think we figured it out. I think if we leave her in the kitchen and
Yes,
not locked in
okay.
the
So
pen.
let's go into our fails. So do you want to go into your ribs one first before because we have like 100 Katsu fails.
Yeah, I mean, my fail of the week is that I was cooking these ribs, and with a rib cook, you want to develop the bark on a smoker. You want to develop the bark, which is that classic barbecue. That's what you go to eat barbecue for. Is
It's like the crust.
the crust, the crunchiness, the good smoke
It's
flavor.
the part that almost is like the beef jerky part on the top.
Right. It's just really good
It's
taste.
where all the flavor is.
It's all good taste.
If you have the marinade or if you have the salt and pepper,
it's all
like
good.
where all of that
Yeah.
is. It's literally the best part.
But unfortunately, when I was cooking the ribs, I just made an error and I misread because I usually follow this, like, I know exactly, I know what I'm doing, but I always don't know what I'm doing. So I always follow this one YouTube video and there's directions on there, and I just for some reason misread the directions, and I wrapped the ribs too early. And when you wrap the ribs in butcher paper too early, doesn't allow the bark to develop, so then you don't get that bark on the outside, and then basically not ruin it, but you don't get the end result that you wanted.
Yeah, they were still amazing. I think you still blew everybody's mind. Our friend Savine, like she said that she's only tried pork ribs before once and she didn't really like them, and then now she's converted and she's like, maybe I just didn't like them because they weren't cooked this well. And I was like, this is even Taylor's top work. So
yeah,
still great.
And I was bummed because I spent all that time marinating them like 24 hours earlier and 5 hours, 6 hours of cooking.
I've definitely been there. Yeah, it's kind of like when you
there's just a lot of time. There's just a lot of time
cookies
invested
or something. Yeah, it's disappointing because they could be better.
There's a lot of time invested in these ribs, and they
for sure
ended up not what I wanted. But
they were still delicious.
They still tasted great.
They still fell off the bone, which is the only reason why you converted me into liking ribs. Is when it falls off the bone. Because I don't really like to work for it that much. But they were still amazing. Our friends were still really impressed. And I was just telling Taylor, like, at least you know that you can raise the bar next time just by doing that one step.
Right.
Like, you don't have to change anything.
Yeah.
Just do that one extra step.
But that's my fail.
But it wasn't even a bad fail. But moving on to the Katsu fails. So as Taylor was saying, now we're kind of testing out actually just leaving her in the kitchen. We have 2 baby gates on either side of our kitchen entryways. And we were keeping her in the pen, which is connected to her crate. So she has kind of a smaller area to be in. And that's where we have a couple pee pads and a couple toys that are safe to leave with her. So we've been doing that. And she first got out, and somehow, we don't know, we weren't watching. So our Furbo that we use in there we don't have the feature that records, so it's only real time, so we couldn't really see how she got out, but we could just see that the pen was kind of shifted all crazy. And the first time was actually when we had the old clips that kind of sucked, so I figured, oh, she just got out from the bottom. And then now we got the carabiners, so it is clipped pretty well, so we weren't sure how she got out.
I think she just pushes it and claws under.
Yeah, I think she moves it around enough where she can get underneath. And so, yeah, she got out, but thankfully the baby gates were at least closed. But she seems to settle down a little bit quicker and just go to sleep right next to the gate that you can see the front door from, and that Waffles usually sleeps in that hallway by the front door as well. So it could be that she also just wants to be closer to Waffles or know that she's not home alone. So after her doing that twice, because of course once she figured out she could do it, then now she knows how to do it.
We're hosed from now on.
Yeah, so there's not really, I mean, unless we got like a stronger gate, there's not really a way for us to prevent this. So today I just decided to embrace it. And when I went to the gym, I didn't even lock her in there. I just locked her in the kitchen.
And I don't think she barked for that long, really.
Yeah, she only barked a couple times, and then she just went to sleep. So it could be a better situation, a true fail forward moment where, okay, she's not gonna scream her head off for a full hour before calming down. She'll just kind of bark a little bit and then lay down and go to sleep because she is a little bit more comfortable there for whatever reason. So that is one of them. Unfortunately, she also seems to have regressed a little bit in her sleep training.
Yeah, last night was terrible. Well, not terrible, just rough start.
Yeah, it was. We are trying to get better about having a more calming evening routine. I
also think because last night may have been rough because the previous 2 nights she went to bed way later than usual.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's why.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got home kind of late from all of those things. So totally could be. And yeah, so we're working on having her not roughhouse with Waffles right before bed, because I've also been using AI for a lot of dog training tips, and that's one of them is like make sure they're very calm, not too much excitement, doing light playing or light training or just hanging out like this is perfect before they go to bed so that she's not all amped up. And so putting her to bed has been kind of hit or miss. Sometimes she goes in without a peep, and other times she's not down to go to bed. And then it did seem like she woke up a couple more times last night than she usually has been.
No, I mean, that was just on the start of the night, and then she slept all the way through.
Oh, she did? Okay, did I just dream? I think I have...
No, she slept all the way through till, 5.
She did? Okay, well, I must have had dreams, because I had dreams that she woke up 2 more times in the middle of the night.
Yeah. No,
so, it just haunts.
I mean,
I didn't
get to bed till 11 or 11:30 because of her.
I don't know. I had dreams.
You were asleep.
I had dreams.
You were fast asleep.
I thought I was awake. I thought I said I kissed you good night.
You did, and then she woke up. And
then she woke back up. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, but I had dreams she woke up at 2 or 2:30. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So okay. So the sleep. So just putting her to bed sometimes is rough. And then she has been quite challenging with the potty training as well. So this morning I was putting something away in the garage, and I was like, oh, why does it smell in here? And there was just a poop right outside of, we have Waffles crate in there right now since Katsu's in the kitchen, which is where Waffles used to be. And yeah, just in there. And then almost every time I let her out today, we have a concrete little patio before it turns into our grassy backyard, and she, I think 3 or 4 times just went on the concrete today. So it's been a little bit of a struggle. And then also what happened today, which is so funny because I posted this fail forward Friday last Friday of Taylor talking about why we have Katsu in a stroller, and that was actually pre-recorded from a few weeks ago, but I kind of wanted to space out when hey, you sneaky. She's acting like she's just going to sleep and then just getting her nose in the treat bag. So that was actually from a couple weeks ago, and I just posted it on Friday since I was trying to rotate some of Taylor's and my videos. And then, of course, and he's talking about how if you haven't seen that, go catch that on YouTube or Instagram. But basically, he's talking about how when we had a stroller for waffles, he kind of ran into the ground and it ended up breaking. And it ended up breaking today in the middle of our walk, so I'm not super close to home. The front wheel, we hit a little bit of a sidewalk crack, not even fast, and it just went and just it just completely came off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, great. And then I'll also post a video because I'm posting a little update of like, remember how we were just talking about how if this breaks, and then Katsu just falls over in the stroller. So I had to basically wheelbarrow her all the way home, which was not the easiest thing and probably not the most comfortable ride.
Wheelbarrow? You mean like wheelie her?
Well, yeah, wheelie her, but like a wheelbarrow where you have to like pick it up on its back wheel.
Okay, I guess yeah, I guess you're right.
It like literally is a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And so so thankfully we made it, and thankfully we were still within the return window, so we're able to get a new one. But the new one's not coming till Friday, so unfortunately she can't go with waffles on her walk. So I'm having to do some separate training with her, so she still gets that socialization kind of.
If only she could just be vaccinated and we can just take her on a normal walk.
Yeah, we're still probably about a month out because her last vaccinations are going to be, I think, on the 30th. But then one vet said you have to wait 1 week, and then this other vet said you have to wait 2 weeks after that until she's fully, what's the word? Immunized?
Immunized?
Is that the word?
Immunized?
Anyways, she fully has like the antibodies and is good to go.
Immunization?
So it's going to be like mid-January.
Dang.
Yeah. So we're like a month out.
And we got her November 1st.
Yeah. I mean, what blows my mind is it feels like it's been a year since we've had her, and we've only had her for a little over a month. What was so then my other fail forward for Katsu is that we went to the vet. So she got her second vaccinations last week, and she got her ears checked to make sure that her ear infection is fully gone, which it is, thankfully. And the vet said that the vet first was like, that puppy's only 12 weeks old. And I was like, yeah. She's like, she's big. But then she was feeling her, and she's like, she's a little on the skinnier side, so you actually need to increase her food by 25%, which I was like, oh, Katsu, you hear that? Because Katsu's probably our most food-motivated pet, which is really saying something. Because I'd say Waffles and Jinx are highly, highly food-motivated.
So she's on her bulk diet.
She's on her bulk diet. And which just makes me really curious on how big she's going to get. And then she was pretty afraid of the vet. I mean, I have to say, I think it's from when I had to take her to urgent care for her ear infection, and then they made me leave her there for like 3 hours because they had other pets who were under anesthesia who they needed to get to, but they also needed to do a really thorough cleaning of her ears. So they made me leave her there, and then they were, obviously touching her ears and stuff. And so obviously she's probably not gonna like the vet. But she was basically climbing up me to get away from the vet. And so the vet was saying, oh, does she do this every time she meets someone new? And I was like, actually, yeah, she's been kind of scared of, she's scared of our friend Alex and our friend Bex who came over. And then the vet told me that we really, really need to prioritize socializing her with humans and also select dogs. And by select dogs, I mean dogs who are fully up to date on their vaccinations and also don't really go to daycare or dog parks or anything like that, so that they won't accidentally transmit anything to her. And so apparently we need to prioritize that right now, since we're in the crucial window of her brain developing how she's going to view the world. And if we don't do anything about this now, it could turn into fear aggression, which I had to look up what fear aggression was, and it is basically what it sounds like. So it's dogs who, when they're around new people, they tend to bark a lot, they might bite, they just basically act aggressively or act as if they're backed into a corner, even if they're not. And that's just because they have a fear of people or other dogs and things like that. And it kind of turns into an aggressive behavior. So we definitely don't want that at all. So then I immediately have messaged people, because I was thinking, we tried to have some people over, but it didn't work out. People got sick, and now it's the holidays. People are busy. I'll try again in the new year. But our vet was like, you need to really try to do this now. So I sent out a few texts to some people being like, can you please come over and hang out with her? And I have AI giving us some tips on how to do it. So one of the things that we didn't maybe do properly is it said, as soon as they come in, ignore her so that there's no pressure for her. Usually people come in, they're immediately like, oh my gosh, puppy. And they want to pet her. They're like, AI said, don't try to touch her face or do anything above her head. And basically, if they're willing to, have them sit on the floor. Sit sideways is apparently less intimidating, which is interesting. And then just to throw, and so I was giving them treats to hand to her, and they were doing that. But AI said actually just kind of throw treats to the side of them and don't have her eat out of their hand. And then she'll come to them on her own terms. And that's basically the first step of her feeling more comfortable. And basically, like, do not pressure her to interact with people, and just keep repeating this process until she hopefully goes up to people on her own. But it's just very different from Waffles, because Waffles gets a little scared of people when they first come in, but then she
was good.
She loves them. Yeah, she'll kind of bark and act a little scared at first, but then she wants all the attention. So that's all of our Katsu stories. It's still a big focus of our life right now to try to get this little pup trained up. I wanted to give our friend Kelly a shout out, because she listened to our episode where we interviewed Coach Kelly Tibbetts, who talked about Enneagram and Human Design. And Kelly pointed out that I actually forgot to mention how you could find your Enneagram type and Human Design. So I just wanted to quickly touch on that. So Enneagram, I did it through my work, and we paid, I want to say it was like $10 per test to have it done through some online site. It looks like when I Googled it that you could maybe get your test for free online now. So there are some options, but yeah, I've only done it where it was paid. And then for Human Design, I can link what my self-development coach gave us. So it's just a free resource. Usually you just have to provide your email address to get the results. But that one, you just need your date of birth, time of birth, which can be a little tricky, and location, or birth city. So if you don't know your birth time and you're unable to get it, I've heard that you can just use 12 noon as just a generic time, or if you know it was a morning or afternoon, you can pick 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. or something like that. But when I didn't know my birth time, I did the 12 p.m. at first, and then when I found my birth time, I did it again, and it was just a slight difference, but it's obviously just still more accurate when you know your exact birth time. And I also wanted just to say one more thing about it, because what really intrigued me by Human Design is how intricate it is. And we already talked about the energy types. So go listen to that episode. I think that was episode 14. And so go check that out if you want to hear more about that. But I just want to quickly touch on one of the things that I found the most insightful and resonated with me the most was something called your cross of incarnation. So this is just basically like why you were put on this earth, like what your mission in life is, why you're here. And I'll read mine, and then I'm going to read yours, and then I'm just going to say how ours complement each other and how I found this. I do love having someone like Kelly, who's an expert, kind of talk to us, because I feel like they just add even more color to it. But I also just run our human designs through AI to just give me kind of a top level. And you can do, I mean, I've gone through little deeper dives using AI for some of the human design stuff. But okay, so my cross of incarnation is the right angle cross of contagion. So this cross centers on spreading influence through personal power, unique expression, commitment, and emotional desires, often creating contagious momentum in others. Individuals with this cross drive personal goals while sharing resources and experiences, turning inner drive into collective impact via persistence and skills. So my cross emphasizes self-discovery and personal destiny. I don't know that these are the exact words that resonate with me the most, but I just found that really interesting as I've kind of moved to both in the self-development world and also on my own entrepreneurial path. I just found that really resonated with me. And then Taylor, so you have the right angle cross of the unexpected.
Ooh.
So your cross embodies navigating life's surprises with courage, resilience, nurturing care, and leadership, turning unpredictability into profound growth and meaning. Individuals embrace chaos as opportunity, guiding others through uncertainty while fostering new beginnings and deeper purpose. As a right angle cross, it focuses on personal destiny, so similar as me, and self-discovery amid transformative twists. And then I asked AI just to talk about how our crosses might complement each other and how we can also support each other. So contagions, which is mine, power skills, authentic expression, family loyalty, and willful delivery provide steady momentum and emotional bonds. Unexpecteds, yours, meaningful risk-taking, nurturing care, leadership voice, and visionary initiation inject courage and fresh starts amid uncertainty. Together, they turn personal drives into collective impact, with contagion amplifying unexpecteds, surprises through shared resources and community.
What a complex sentence.
Very complex.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on. But I like it because I feel like it means that my cross helps amplify your cross through sharing resources and maybe things that I've learned. And then best support strategies. So since we're both projectors, which again, you can go listen to that episode about that energy type. So both projectors thrive on being invited, recognize each other's cues to guide without initiating, fostering mutual respect and decisions. Mine is emotional and yours is splenic. So yours is like, it's in your gut versus mine. If you listen to that episode, I have to kind of ride this emotional wave where I should not make decisions at peaks or valleys. And I need to wait till my emotions have kind of calmed down to a base level to make a more informed decision. Versus you can just feel it in your gut, apparently.
I feel like I do feel it in my gut a lot of the times.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like I go with my gut.
But sometimes you like to make decisions on emotional highs too. You're like, I'm like, you want to do 5 more chores? You're like, yeah, you're catching me at my high. And then 1 chore later, he's like, I'm done.
Well, because I need, like, if you're going to, like, fly high with me, then, like, let's get it done. But if you're not going
you fly
to.
high and you're like, put.
Yeah.
You just crash. Okay, balance, stability, and adventure. Use your my contagion energy to sustain your unexpected shifts, like channeling your bold ideas into persistent projects, ideal for podcasts or events. Nurture through challenges. So let's see. basically we build resilience via shared purpose, like creating content or planning.
I feel like that works.
Yeah.
We do plan a lot.
Well, I feel like it's also because I'm using the AI that I use all the time, so it also knows that that we podcast and that I've done event planning. So that's probably why I kind of specifically put those things in there. But
the bias leans towards that.
Yeah, but also this is why, especially if you have these deeper conversations with AI and it gets to know you, it can put specifics in there and make it really apply to you. Because sometimes, when you read these personality things, it can be like a blanket thing and some of it resonates with you and some of the words don't. That's what Kelly was saying about Enneagram. When different people teach it, they use different words that might just apply to their Enneagram type and not really resonate with the other Enneagram types. So kind of similar to AI too, I think, as well. And then our friend, I had a really long chat with our friend Brian at Friendsmas, and he was asking me about the podcast and asking me about what I've learned so far. And he had a good idea of chatting about this a little bit on our podcast. So he was saying, how have we been able to support and challenge each other? And I was saying, I was talking about how I'm working on overcoming perfectionism. And one of the things my self-development coach always says is be a C student and just get it done. Like, get it done. There's so many people, so many successful people that have been on my coach's podcast. Like, I think it was Jason Mraz or some songwriters who talk about how basically, when you're in like an old cabin, you have to run the water, and at first the water comes out brown and then it clears up, but you have to let it run. So similar to that, or you have to have some kind of draft to be able to edit it and make it better. If you have nothing, there's nothing to make better. So I've heard that a million times. Obviously, it's easier said than done. So when
press record.
When you put it into practice, it can be really challenging. And I was telling our friend Brian, if I was doing the podcast on my own, the podcast would not be up. Like, I would be re-recording the trailer probably for the 100th time. It probably would sound way too scripted, and then I probably would hate it, and then I would never put anything up. So I also learned in my self-development course that I actually never got a C. I don't know if I've ever gotten a C my whole life. So I actually truly don't know how to be a C student versus Taylor.
I can teach you.
Taylor was a very comfortable C student. And so, yeah, but the thing is that I always thought, I did well in school. And so, and I now see some of the negative effects of that, because I felt like anything below an A was failing. And it's not even because my parents were really strict. They actually thought B's and C's were okay. I just got really intense about it. And like, I got an A- one time, and I think I worked out for 6 hours because I was so pissed. So I truly don't know how to be a C student. But when you're trying to be an entrepreneur, I mean, that's the number one thing, is you have to be able to get stuff out there and try it and then get feedback and iterate. And if you don't ever put anything out there, obviously you're not going to go anywhere. And so that's been really helpful to be partnered with you, because you're like the first episode we had, which already took a couple of recordings because of technical issues and all the things. So I think it was our third try, maybe.
Yeah.
And then you told me,
sounds about right,
it's going to go up on Wednesday. And I was thinking, oh, next Wednesday. Okay. Because I have a week to mentally prepare. And then I think that was on Tuesday or something. And then Wednesday came and you're like, it's up. And I was like, what? And I had I was total freak out, because I was like, that was horrible. We needed to re-record again. It was just, that's not what I wanted. And I had all this perfectionism come up for me. But again, you have to start from somewhere. And I hope that we've I know I've learned a lot. So
Yeah, and we've
I
gotten
think
much better
we're,
at speaking on
yeah,
camera.
I think
and
we've gotten more comfortable. I mean, for sure I have. I was not feeling comfortable at all speaking on camera. And so the growth that happens when you even just put out something messy is huge for someone who has struggled with perfectionism. So I would say that's a huge way that you've challenged me to grow, is by just getting it done. And then I would say on the flip side, and you can give me your thoughts on this, but on the flip side, I would say that you're a consistent person as well, but I'd say maybe my overachiever side is like, if we say we're doing this every week, we're doing this every week.
Yeah.
what's the phrase? Come rain or high, what is it?
Come hell or high water.
Yeah, I was like, come rain or high water. Come hell or high water. Yeah. So we've only missed, the 1 week after the wedding, but other than that, we've been really consistent. And I think this is the longest you've been consistent with content creation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, video content creation, yes.
Video content creation.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the first thing that came to mind of how I've challenged you, because it's Tuesday night. Taylor worked a full day. He has a super long commute, and yet, here we are still recording and getting done. Whew. Would you agree with that? Or
yeah, I agree that you're pushing me to stay consistent, which is a nice thing. Because definitely, if it was just me, I probably would have been like, I couldn't film it next week. And then it'd be like next week. Because
you kind of go in these
weeks.
like little bursts where you're like really consistent, and then all of a sudden something happens, and then you kind of just sort of like,
yeah, because it's just a big time commitment.
It totally is.
It's like a big time commitment.
Yeah, especially some of the
filming, the editing,
some of the videos that you were doing. Because with our podcast, what was challenging about it as a perfectionist is that we do very minimal editing. But what's also freeing, as I've come to realize, is also not having to edit too much and letting it be very authentic and real. So the more that I lean into that, the more that it feels like a release, even if at first it feels almost like you're brushing the wrong side of velvet, it feels prickly and uncomfortable. But the more I've leaned into it, the more I really embrace that side, because I have seen how much editing you've had to do with even short videos of kind of lifestyle, like your day, and how long it takes. And even so, we don't have a fancy hosting platform that spits out this to all the platforms. I actually manually do it. And so even that is just time consuming to clip a little bit, like do a tiny bit of editing and then get it up on all the platforms and write the description and, try to make it SEO driven and in our brand voice, and post consistently on Instagram, which I've never really consistently posted on Instagram. So all of those things have been growth.
But we're doing it.
And it definitely is not perfect, and it definitely, isn't always how we imagine it going, but we're doing it and we're growing and learning, and we freaking made it to episode 17.
Almost at 20 episodes.
Yeah.
We're almost at 20 weeks of recording.
Yeah, I think we're gonna hit 20 weeks, like maybe either the last, I guess I haven't looked at how the calendar goes, but either the last week or maybe the last week of December or first week of January. This is wild.
Nice, babe.
Nice. Proud of us. Do you have any final thoughts?
No. I'm pretty content. No. I think that summed up everything that we wanted to cover.
Nice. Well, thanks for listening. We really appreciate you. And where can everybody find us?
Oh, you can find us on...
Let's see if Taylor gets it this time.
You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Instagram.
Yeah! Woo!
At Not Fully Qualified. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes. And please, if you feel called to, share us with a friend. We appreciate all of the support you've given us.
Woof.
And hopefully we get to sleep through the night with Katsu. And thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I forgot to say our tagline.
Nice job, babe.
Messed that part up.
What's your tagline?
Where none of us really know what we're doing, but we're doing it together.